Oh, hi, people. It is time to celebrate 20 years of a movie that completely sucks. But there's so many people that like the movie because it sucks that I ended up saying this was a comedy when it really was just a drama that I thought was going to be like Citizen Kane. But now I just decide, you know what? No, I don't want it to be like Citizen Kane. I want it to be more like those 90s rom-com films, except mine is not really rom-com on its own. It's more like black rom-com. It's like a darker comedy version where my character kills himself because he can't handle somebody getting cheating on him, like fiance wise, and then best friend ruin his life. So this is basically my story, and now I take it upon myself to now celebrate 20 years of it by making weirder movies and TV shows, and not even releasing me as a firefighter fighting off against sharks. Although I did play a creepy guy that just stole gold teeth from corpses, and then brought Greg on to be my thing, and then I ended up almost killing him at the end of the movie, because I'm gangster. I'm gangster. You know that.
You should play the room, the game for the
Yes,
special.
I don't know. We already played game, and I'm not playing that again. Here's a better quality game. You could watch a couple of computers going at it in a party fashion. I was involved in a party once. It was my own birthday, and everybody betrayed me at that party. Like even the people that did the catering, they just ruined it because I hired Gordon Ramsay and his Hell's Kitchen crew to make the food, and it was just fucking raw all the time. And now I was like, what the fuck?
He's scaring me.
Sylph, you talk Citizen Kane. That's my movie. That's what I made the room like.
Hey, Mr. L.
Hello, Mr. L. And please, anyone else out there, if you appreciate what we provide you in terms of content and stuff, don't forget to like video and then hit subscribe button. Because, the new person that runs YouTube now, he's crazy in the head. So, it's going to be very hard for people to start building their own channels. So, you might as well try it just in case. And now I'm just starting to get into whole Mario territory now. I'm slipping.
Yeah.
You're starting to sound like Mario.
I'm slipping from...
It's like a little upgrade from Tommy Wiseau to Mario.
Oh, that's my Digivolution. I go from Eastern European trying to escape communist Bulgaria to now going into Italian man who's ready from Brooklyn. Anyway. Yeah, so, just do all the things that Tommy suggested while we talk about the movie itself and Tommy himself, because it's, I don't know, reflecting on it now, there are some things that a lot of people, I think, just overlooked. And now that it's 20 years later, we could just go over a bunch of shit.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Well, that. Here's the thing about Tommy. His version of acting, like, he really wants to put emphasis on lines. And what I mean by that is, like, the line, "How are you doing?" He's like, oh, that could be read in so many different ways. You need to really concentrate on the line. What is this line trying to tell you? Like, what do you mean, what is the line trying to tell me? It's like, how are you doing? It's like a request thing. Like, Tommy's version of acting, and this is why he's a failed director, because he uses color theory when it comes to acting. Now, for those of you that don't know what color theory means, in filmmaking, color theory is the way that the film looks, and it gives you different moods. So say, for example, you're looking at something that's blue. Looking at something blue, like if there's a lot of blue lighting, and this could be done for stage design too, and production design, the color blue sort of really gives off like a sad feel to it. Same thing with purple. If purple's combined with is combined with another shade of blue, then it can give off a sad feeling. Yellow is happy. Red is like dirty, sexy shit. Which is why you probably saw a lot of red in the room, because it was like dirty, sexy shit. But that was just pure intentional, an unintentional thing. But he wants to see it he wants to use color theory as a way to describe how to act better, and that type of deal is not that there's no such thing as color theory in acting. You try looking it up on Google online, it gives you color theory of film design and production design. And I can give you like his idea of what it is. So so Tommy explains it all as a YouTube channel where some producer sat down with Tommy and they created like 9 videos on his opinions. So here's his theory on acting, and I translated this because trying to understand what Tommy is saying makes no sense sometimes.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm going to pull up chat because I keep hearing the chat thing go off.
Mooney posted a picture of, like...
This is at my store of, like... nice lattes.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't need to look at that.
Just for morbidly curious, I ended up buying two of the Twinkie ones because I was curious.
Anyway, so his acting. Here's the translated transcript of Tommy's sense of acting. It's like colors relate to acting big time because you can have fun with it. For example, a white color goes into a blue color, which translates into a relationship. I have no idea what that means.
My brain just went, what?
Yeah, because relationship is never color coded. It's like when you're saying white to blue, like what you're basically saying is like you're going from a lighter scene to like a more sad scene. And no, it's not like that, Self.
I know, I was just making the joke.
And after this, Lenny, he says, when you say the line, for example, "You are tearing me apart, Lisa." What is behind the words? "You are tearing me apart, Lisa." Who is this Lisa, you may ask yourself?
The cheating bitch.
But as an actor, he wants you to explore, like, what is this person that you're
BRB.
You're basically talking to, you know? He even goes so far as to say, it's like, "If you brainstorm, you're tearing me apart, Lisa," that line differently. That's where you find colors. Like, what?
What?
That's where you'll find
word salad.
And by the way,
word salad, dude, without the ranch dressing.
Like, apparently you'll find colors just looking at that line. And he's like, "What is the pitch that you're supposed to put with that line?" And then he addresses the camera and he says, "You who are so smart, who try to discredit me, think about that. Shame on you that you criticize me for something you know nothing about." Because he got mad at people that said his acting sucked, and that is like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. But we'll get into Tommy.
Get your damn self. Get your damn self, Tommy.
And as somebody like me who has taken a couple of years of acting classes, I had never used color theory in acting ever. And acting coaches, or not coaches, but teachers have always said, you're not supposed to put too much emphasis on certain lines. Like, you're supposed to get into your character. You're supposed to feel your character. Like, what is their everyday like? What music do they listen to? What do they do on a daily basis? Like, what is their schedule like? If you could put yourself into that character, you can essentially understand what this character is going through, and it can become a lot easier for you to be an actor in that sense. And I remember doing that one time. I remember going off to listening to a bunch of Iron Maiden songs because I was supposed to be playing like this really tough Italian guy. Yeah, I know. Big shocker. I got stereotyped in an acting class. But my character was at a bar, and he ends up falling for a woman who's a lot tougher than him and basically kicks his ass. And then he gets really turned on by that, and he's like, "Hey, come back to my place. Let's start having sex," which they do.
Shit.
Which they do, and it turns into like this whole BDSM thing, and then they both feel taken advantage of each other, and then they try to forgive each other by saying like, "Oh, we used each other for tough, rough sex, but hey, you know, let's try to make a relationship out of it anyway." But trying to really explore those characters and making it understand like, okay, these two characters came up in very rough territory in New York, and obviously trying to understand the history of the time period in like the 90s in New York, living in like very low income neighborhoods. Like, you really had to study and you really had to take all of that into theory. Never colors. Colors didn't play anything in that. And there was no point where our acting teacher was going to my scene partner and I and saying, "Yeah, you really need to explore how you tell her to leave you alone." Like, no, all you have to do is just basically get mad at her. But don't really explore that line. Just say, like, how would you feel if somebody was really bothering you? And then so I just yelled out my line, and that's how it happened. Never did they say, "Okay, Deanie, what you need to do is you need to take a red color and apply it to this line, and then try to work out other colors as it goes on." No, that's not what happens. But anyway, back what Tommy was saying about colors. You have 20%. Before that, you have 100%. So then you go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Colors are the same thing. I was like, what? So you may have one color, which is great for your project, but it's not enough. With colors, you give people choices and something that you can relate to. For example, with The Room, there are so many different subliminal messages, and some of them are powerful. And I'm thinking to myself, where in the film was there subliminal messages? Like, was there secrets that were put in there that you had to really like go back and just try to explore and try to understand, like, what is Tommy trying to say when he's like putting all these stuff in the background? Like, no, there was nothing subliminal in there. Like, are you really that desperate to make people think that you made like a good film? Because subliminal messages are something like Join the Navy in The Simpsons, where they just played the song backwards.
Oh yes, join the plastics factory. We need more people to make our plastic spoons.
Oh god, that would have been a plot twist for sure. Tommy's really advocating for the plastic spoon company to make profits.
That's what he mean. That's why there's all those pictures of plastic utensils.
Well, no, they weren't plastic. Those were just actual silver spoons.
Okay, go make our silver spoons.
Look, the people in the props department were just going to some random store because they just needed something to put on the tables, and they came back with just pictures of spoons. And the assistant director was like, "Really? This is the best you guys can come up with?" And Tommy's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna care." And then, sure enough, boom! It becomes a meme every time you go to a theater, and that movie plays.
I know the story behind that. I was just joking.
But
I said it before, and I'll say it again. Killer theory simply doesn't work.
So many subliminal messages, and some of them are powerful. Like, you have to be more specific. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, there were subliminal messages in there. I'm just not going to tell you what they are. You got to figure it out for yourself." That's what I like to do as a director. I like to make my audience think, what am I really trying to say here? Well, I hate when directors do that. I hate it when directors in interviews, they say, I want the audience to like explore what I mean by this. Like, no, don't make it like, I understand if you want to make people think, but don't make people think to the point where it's like you go off on many different theories. Like, this is not conspiracy theory land here. If you have a message, even if you tell it in a subtle way, just say, just let the audience know what you're really trying to get across. Don't try to be so complex and try to think that you're thinking too outside the box. Because I'll tell you, a lot of directors like to do that. You know what the Martin Scorsese's message is in every gangster movie that he does? The gangster life sucks, and your life will get burned alive if you follow down this path. Every single movie he does. Even the ones that are not really about gang life, just being associated with it, it will just ruin your life. That's the message in every Scorsese movie. That's all you need to know. With Tommy, it's just like nothing. You get nothing out of it.
He just wants to make the next James Dean movie.
Not happening.
Exactly.
So he goes on. He says, "Some of you who critique the color theory and acting working together, you don't know what you're talking about. Colors relate to the detail of the work. Imagine, for example, a painter painting a canvas just with the color blue, but then suddenly they add different colors to it. People look at that canvas and will say, 'Oh, what is this?' They don't say, 'Oh, I like this blue color,' and that's it."
Right.
Good acting is about chemistry and relationships. Let me contradict myself as I define that. Somebody else can define it slightly differently, but we're on the same page because we have a lot of colors, so we can relate to it. Again, always going back to colors. It's like, oh, my scene partner and I, we have so many colors. It's like, yes, because we wear colorful clothing. He goes on to say, with acting, you can't just be given a script and just read a line without an emotion behind it. For example, the line, "How are you doing?" What is behind the words? What colors are you using?
What?
It's just the way he said that. It's like, what colors are you using when you're saying, "Oh, how are you doing?" And he goes, "By doing, you become more natural as you discover more colors." And I'm like, is he? And every time he kept saying that, I kept thinking to myself, is he playing Sonic Colors? Because that makes me think like he's just going off on there. Tommy does not like to talk to an empty wall. He likes to have an actor stand in front of him when he acts. Which, by the way, which they don't do because they realize that they have a lot of... which a lot of these film companies don't do because they just want to keep moving along so they can get this film in the can. And if you're not used in a particular shot, actors like to take time off so they could play cards with the rest of the production crew. But instead, Tommy just likes to have the actor stand in front of him as he, as he just, what's the word? He just like he's acting because he feels like that, he feels like he can't act if he's just talking to a brick wall. It's like the brick wall can't talk back to you.
Let's just put like a face on the brick wall and see what happens.
And my response... Oh, go ahead, sir.
Poster on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't give him any ideas. Then he's going to start putting like kawaii stuff on there.
Oh no.
And my response to that whole thing is, look, have you ever seen Pink Floyd's The Wall movie? Like that main character, like basically was like acted in front of a wall for not almost the entire movie, but like for some of the movie was just like standing in front of a wall, acting in front of it. So yes, you can talk to an empty wall. That movie proved it. And even though that's like a cult classic, and it's not really, it's like a weirdly weird movie, it's still like, there is still acting involved in that was like, ooh. Yeah, so that's like his whole thing on acting is just like colors in general. But I mean, he also compared.
Sounds like the English teacher who put way too much into analyzing Shakespeare down to the curtains.
Yes. Yeah. And even the exits themselves, like, oh, the fact that they exited from stage left instead of stage right really tells you something about the character. I'm like, no, they're just getting off the stage.
Yeah.
And it's convenient for them to go off on that.
Scratches on the wall, they're just scratches on the wall.
Yeah, going back to Freud. Sometimes a box is just a box. There's no meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in college class, in my film theory class, we actually talked about The Room, and nobody had ever seen it except for me. So my professor was like, tell people what the movie is like. And so I go off on it, and then he says, and my professor goes, just watch the first 5 minutes of The Room itself. It is so bad. The opening credit sequence should tell you right away that this movie is horrible. Because it's established shot, and then it goes into the opening credits, then back to establishing shot, then to opening credits. The way that the editing was done is enough to make you believe, like, okay, you don't need to see the rest of this movie. Just from the... Because my professor at the time said, you can really tell a film director is good just by the editing of the opening credits. If you can get through the opening credits and not get bored right away, you're in for a good movie. If you're already bored in the first 5 minutes, stop watching.
Twilight.
Oh no, like even some movies that people like my college professor would have sat back and said, "Oh yeah, you know that Avengers Endgame? Yeah, I could tell you in the first 5 minutes that it was going to be horrible." And then he would have just got booed out of class. But anyway, but Tommy actually thinks that The Room is on par with Citizen Kane.
Yeah, right. Sit down, Tommy.
And he says it's a pure coincidence that this happened. Right.
Get your ass
And he
down.
said, and he's like, oh, there's so many similarities between my movie and Orson Welles' movie. I said, really? Did you have a sled in yours that's a symbol of your lost youth and innocence? Does your character end up becoming? By the way, Orson Welles not only started it, he also wrote and acted it. Wrote and directed it. So Orson Welles really wanted to tell a story about how corrupt billionaires work. Because the guy that he plays in the movie is a billionaire that owns a newspaper company. It basically controls the entire media apparatus in town. Like everything he prints is considered the truth. And so he connives the truth to his own liking, and then eventually almost tries to become a politician, and ends up failing miserably. And then he dies and says Rosebud out loud, and that's just a longing for his sled. He died a lonely man.
He just wanted a sled. Aww.
Well, no, he didn't want the sled.
We saved you 2 long boobless hours.
And the movie is not that. And the movie is like a great commentary on like, well, if you didn't focus so much on being corrupt and trying to, if you had a childhood, you wouldn't have been so evil. Because he got taken from his family at such a young age, and it showed him as a kid playing with Rosebud, and like that was like the happiest time of his life.
The only commentary I got from The Room was Johnny basically got betrayed by everybody except for Denny.
No. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, let's really dissect the Room here. Why don't we? So,
All right.
Johnny is a banker. Okay, well, first of all, he immigrated to America, became a banker, which the odds of that are, the odds are for somebody like him. That's very rare that happens. So Tommy Johnny in that instance is like a very is like one of the few that actually makes it through and ends up getting a job in that area. And by the way, he was like working in hotels and everything, and that's where he met Lisa for the first time. But he went from scrubbing hotel bathrooms to then getting involved in banking, which I wondered how that happened. But look, the only reason Lisa got involved with Johnny was because he had money and an apartment building that was like really that was very lavish.
That's shallow shit, dude.
It's the truth, though.
That's some pretty shallow shit. I know.
But it's true, though.
He's a
cold,
shallow
hard reality. Yeah, we live in a society.
Well, I don't think that applies to this instance, because it's mostly Lisa just like, oh, hey, here's a guy with a lot of money. And I mean, you even wrote Lisa to be Tommy wrote Lisa to be like that. And like she just wanted a fuck buddy that wasn't Tommy.
Right.
And like, oh hey, Johnny just happens to be best friends with a Abercrombie and Finch model. Did I say Finch? I meant Fitch. It's like, oh hey, my best friend happens to be a supermodel, and then Lisa's just like, oh hey, I wanna basically have a fuck buddy that I can have just on the whim.
Didn't like Greg wanted to make like Mark into a cop?
Yeah, he wanted.
filming?
Yeah, because he wanted the lore of him being like a private investigator.
Yeah.
Like even the game even has that as him being like
Yes,
being a
buddy.
private investigator and everything. But Tommy was like, no, nobody knows what your job is because my job is the only one that matters.
Okay, he's sitting in the fucking car for nothing. Okay.
Oh, hold on. I got some tea. I got some tea.
Ooh. Let's drink some tea.
Tea,
and
let's go.
I found an AMA where where the guy who played Mark
Greg.
Greg.
gets some
Greg?
questions from Reddit. Yeah, Greg, where okay, so this person asked, do you have any traits or qualities in common with Mark? Do you or did you ever sympathize with him as a character? And then Greg replies, Mark was a character without a head or tail. When I tried to add an ounce of substance or a few brain cells, Tommy would say, stop trying to be king of the world.
That's like pot calling the kettle black right there.
Yeah,
I
all the actors were frustrated with it. Like,
I know, with the plot lines and all that shit.
well, no, it's not just that. It's like it felt like this was just like a Tommy passion project. Like it was just gonna be on his shelf for the rest of his life that he could just jerk off to, and that was really it. But then they didn't realize. Oh, he actually. But they didn't realize. Oh, it's just he actually knows people that know how to get his movie into theaters. And if it wasn't for Seth Rogen, the room would never have existed because he kept or gotten as popular as it did. Because if it wasn't for him and a bunch of other comedic actors on their off time just watching bad movies, then yeah, we wouldn't have gotten it. But like, I forgot what point I was making before I forgot the point I was trying to make before the Reddit thing came up.
Hey,
Oh,
get
yeah.
off my arm.
Oh no, you were
can't
talking about like his job, like Mark's
Buddy.
job and everything. But
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
but the thing is like Lisa's just like, I'm bored of Johnny because all he does is go to work and bank and then just just have like terrible. Oh, that's the other thing too. The sex was probably terrible between Lisa and Johnny, and that's like the number one.
I bet. Yes.
That's like one of the
That's a huge yikes, you guys.
That's one of the relationship killers. And as somebody who has a friend that really studies relationships for a living, one of the major things that they have told me is if the sex is terrible, get out of there right away, because the reflection of their sex life is also a reflection of what they're like in real life. So if they don't do a good job down there, then chances are they're not going to do a good job up there. And
Ain't that truth?
He was doing her belly button, bro.
Yes!
Yeah. Hi, dude.
and even during that, like the actress who played Lisa's like, I think you're aiming a little too high. He's like, I aim where I aim. Just do the scene. Like even during the sex scene, they were arguing.
Hell, she didn't even want to do
Yikes.
another sex scene with them. I heard.
Well, you know how she got the role, right?
Nah.
Okay, so
She's hot.
Actually, I think like another actress had her role, but she left because
nope,
her boyfriend was
Nope.
originally supposed to play
nope,
Mark.
nope. That was
Okay.
that was Michelle, and the original actor who played Mark, and the original actress who played Michelle. Which, by the way, if you didn't want them, why did you cast them?
Exactly.
But then it turned out it was because they were the only two actors that were willing to rebel against Tommy and ask questions, which you can't really do to Tommy because he considers that betrayal. if you go against his vision.
Wasn't she also like 23 and he was like 47?
Yes.
That's
What?
fucking creepy.
Okay, so the audition process.
Dude.
So the audition process for Lisa was like the actress had to sit on a bed with Tommy, and then Tommy would say, "Okay, you got to make out with me for 5 minutes," because Tommy felt like the only way that Johnny and Lisa could ever show that they had passion on camera was if they made out with each other. And a lot of the actresses
Dude.
and the actors
You are such creepy.
and the original and the idea that Tommy had in his head was that he wanted Lisa to be a young Angelina Jolie.
That's sexual harassment, and I will not take it.
And so Tommy originally found an actress before pre-production, like somebody in his apartment building, I believe, that looked like a 50-year-old Angelina Jolie that smoked a lot of cigarettes. And so Tommy was like, "Yeah, no, the everyone will think this is like too creepy, even for porn standards." So Tommy said, "Okay."
Sexual hell, dude.
So every actress besides the Juliet was the actress's name who played Lisa. She was the only one that was willing to make out with Tommy for about more than 5 minutes.
That poor girl.
Yeah.
And the only reason why she was willing to put up with a lot of Tommy's crap was like, "Oh, hey, he's paying me a lot of money. It was enough for me to actually get myself out of college debt and everything."
Well, that's good, I guess.
Like that, every actor says like, "Well, Tommy was paying us a lot, so I just put up with a lot of shit."
What the hell is D.B. Cooper and Tommy now?
I was
All
looking
right.
at the TV tropes page and just thought that was
Okay.
funny.
So this comic says, on the left panel, it says, D.B. Cooper hijacked a plane in the 1970s. On landing, demanded money and parachutes. Jumped from plane mid-flight and was never found. Vanished mysteriously with large amount of money. Real age, name unknown. Ambiguous, possibly affected speaking style. Negotiable American currency. And fate unknown. Tommy Wiseau wrote, directed, and starred in The Room, a film widely hailed as the Citizen Kane of bad movies. Appeared mysteriously with large amount of money. Colleague says he's much older than he claims. Ambiguous, possibly affected speaking style, and background unknown. So, if anybody doesn't get the joke, D.B. Cooper is really Tommy. He just escaped with a lot of money and then just became an Eastern European and pretending to be French, pretending to be American.
Yep.
Okay, and okay, so to analyze, so we got the Lisa relationship down. How he became friends with Mark and why Mark probably also was somebody who was really interested in the fact that Johnny had a lot of money and said, "Ooh, hey, somebody with a lot of money that I could possibly just hang around," because you know, you're a young person and you're influenced by people with a lot of money. You want to interact with them because there might be opportunities for you down the line. And also probably Denny also, because who happens to live in the same apartment complex as they do. And we don't know if he even has parents or whatever. All we know is that he sells drugs, and he's got a crush on some girl named Elizabeth.
Well, they did say Johnny tried to adopt him.
Yes, and then pays his college tuition, which you don't think that Danny's taking advantage of, and that's like, oh hey, a rich guy wants to pay my college. A rich guy wants to pay my college tuition.
Mm-hmm.
This is some Requiem for a Dream shit.
Oh, Johnny's like a father to Danny.
Yeah, except
and yet Danny wants to watch them.
And yet,
Well,
yeah, that too. And the fact that Johnny won't even let them live with him. It's like, Oh yeah, like if you really consider me my son, if you really consider me like my father, then you should let me live with you at least.
Do you consider the game canon? Because some people consider it canon.
I don't give a shit.
I don't. You know what? Screw it. It's canon. He lives in a storage closet outside their apartment. Tenny, I mean.
With a shrine.
And there's also a back wall. And there's also a back wall where Denny. And he also has a back wall where you see is like a whole bunch of security cameras. And he's just watching. Like Johnny and Lisa having sex in that creepy little room of his.
Damn. With all those cameras everywhere.
Full-fledged energy. Full-fledged Kevin energy, I should say.
What do you think about it? He's probably watching Mark and Lisa have sex, too.
That, too. And then he's probably going to sell them as sex tapes somewhere. And it's like, Johnny, if you don't get me a job at the bank, this tape gets released and you will lose your job.
Jesus.
And okay, and here's also the fact, like, Johnny has so many friends that just take advantage of his house that they just go into his house and then just have sex on his couch for no reason.
I know, right? Even Claudette took the words out of her mouth. Who are these characters?
Hold on, I just found the weirdest joke theory that someone made. Sorry for derailing this, but I had to. Denny is a cat.
Oh yeah, that was told in the game. There's a part where he's on the couch and he's moving around like a cat.
Alright.
So I'm trying. Oh, go ahead.
The only real issue is that Chris R was brandishing a gun and screaming at, demanding money from a cat.
Oh god, Chris R was so hepped up on drugs he actually thought he was talking to a human when it was really a cat.
Dude, did so much LSD, you don't know where he's at.
He's listening to
Must really be a trip of balls.
Chris R listening to Dark Side of the Moon talking to a cat with a gun.
I'm not gonna share this with you.
Wait, you are or you aren't? Oh, hi, Alex.
Alex!
Alex!
Alex, hi.
Oh god, now I'm just thinking like Chris R probably listens to actually listens to like King Crimson and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and like all of these progressive rock bands. He's just smoking LSD, thinking that Denny's a cat, and he's just it's like, where's my money, cat? Where's my money? And he's like, what are you? He's like, and Denny's just like, meow 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 meow.
Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow.
And to think in the Disaster Artist, the guy who plays Chris R is Zac Efron. Like, whoever thinks that Zac Efron is that threatening?
Not me.
I saw the movie he did with Seth Rogen, and there was literally a fight scene where he's sticking a dildo up Seth Rogen's mouth. Like, you really think that's threatening? No, I don't.
Dude, he fucking played like Dahmer or Bundy, whatever.
But even then, people thought he sucked in that because he didn't even look that. Yeah. Because people didn't even really think that he was that. He really did the character that well. But look, Zac Efron can't act.
Well,
that's the problem. But anyway. Oh yeah, and then of course Claudette's got Claudette is just like, Tommy's got to deal with that, and even then it's like she's got, and also Claudette comes off like that mother that you see from your friends that is always like trying to manipulate their children to do what they want them to do, in a sense. Like, if you think about it, it's like, well, if you did what I did when I married your father, I didn't love him. I just married him for his money. And he was.
Oh, I never loved your father. You never told me that.
It's like, well, I didn't have to. He had money, and he had a dick on top of it. That's all you ever really need, Denny. Which is all you ever really need, Lee. I said Denny. Wow, it's like Claudette's gonna talk to Denny as her child. It was like, Lisa.
Claudette,
not my
she does
fucking
kind of
mother.
treat him like
It's
that.
like, it's like, you listen to me, boy. I am old bag. You want to be like Jack Hammer? You listen to my advice.
Oh my god.
But it's like basically Claudette's message to Lisa is, look, marry a guy with a lot of money and has a huge dick. That's it. If you can't find those two things in a guy, he's useless. But it's like, but what about Mark? Well, Mark doesn't have money, but he's got a dick. Does he have money on top of it? Well, he lives in this apartment complex. Does he have more money than Johnny does? No. Well, then he's not worth it. You got to go for the. You got to get.
He needs a golden dick.
Well, no, he already had that. He just didn't have. He just didn't have the gold to go with it. In Claudette's world, if in Claudette's world, you need to have the diamond dick.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, diamond instead of dick. Okay.
Well, diamonds are a girl's best friend, so I've been told.
Or a diamond dildo or something.
Yeah, that's
God
what
damn it.
Paris Hilton uses every night.
Like, you got to deal with diamonds, not pearls. That's Claudette's thing to Lisa.
Yeah, leave it to you to teach Lisa how to be a damn gold digger.
Well, Claudette taught Lisa how to be a manipulator. You really think about it.
I mean, listen how Claudette bitches about the house and all that shit.
Yeah. Let's just say both. Let's just go both. Why not both?
Let's talk about Claudette's breast cancer.
Which is never brought up again.
It's non-existent. Yeah.
It keeps getting brought up, and then word of God, she lives through it.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, Mom. It'll be all right.
Just get chemo. You got enough money to afford chemo. Or Johnny will pay for your chemo. I don't care. You're just getting chemo. It's like,
Let's just get that bitch.
But then Lisa's like, oh, no, wait a minute. No, we won't give her chemo. We'll let her die off, and then we can get the inheritance money. Then I could just let Mark have it. Oh, no, even better yet. What if we just let my mom die? But then in the last second, we change the will like we did in that one game where we make it so like the paper, I forgot what it's called. It's called like not graphic paper, but it's like black paper, and you put it underneath a contract, and you could basically forge anyone's signature on it. We could forge my mom's signature to make her pass her inheritance all the way to Mark. That way I could divorce Johnny, because Mark will then have more money than him.
How would we just fucking kill Johnny, marry Johnny, kill Johnny off, then get his money and the inheritance?
Because
killing
then
two birds with one stone.
Because then it would be a Forensic Files episode.
No, Lisa should probably like that.
Well, what's the one thing? So why did she kill her husband? Well, there was a $200,000 life insurance policy on him. I was like, God damn it! It's always the life insurance. See, that would have made the room that would have made the room better if you really think about it. Like Johnny gets killed, and then you got to find out who did it. And of course, it's like the plot twist is not really that big of a plot twist because it turns out it's just the wife. But and then they could have gone in this
According to the TV tropes,
make it sound like an episode
had divorced several times.
Yes, because there weren't
make
enough.
It sound.
Go ahead, Mooney.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, that sounds like an episode Sounds like a good show from like investigation discovery if we put it into that perspective.
Yes. But then I'm thinking, here's the alternate universe room. Johnny gets killed. Lisa did it. Mark is the assisted the murder. And then it's just Denny who's playing private investigator, trying to figure out what happened. He figures out what happens. And then Lisa and Mark tie him up and reveal their entire master plan. And then they plan on killing Denny to get his college tuition money, because apparently there's not enough money for them to go around.
Sounds like an episode of Wicked Attraction to me.
And then just to rub it in Denny's face, they have sex in front of him. Just to torture him.
Now this has just turned into a weird porno.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Tommy would do something like that if he was good enough as a director that he can actually pull something off like that.
Yeah.
And to think, like, the mood swings of Johnny just go, like, from up to down. Like, oh, I'm living this happy life and everything's going great. Then it's like, oh my God, I just lost my fiance and I lost my best friend. Now I'm just going to go on a murderous rampage before I kill myself. Like, how does it...
No.
Like, I don't think mental health works like that. I don't think you constantly go from, like, the top to the bottom that fast. Like, usually that takes, like, a years-long process. If you're really contemplating that.
I think I prefer the original ending with the vampire car.
What the... Was that the... I don't think that was the original ending. I just think he just wanted that to happen just out of nowhere.
I still want that ending.
I want my
I'm
car...
having a little difficulty finding, like, with seeing that as genuine, because the script that I found that mentions the car also, like, drops the Dragon Ball meme.
Well,
like,
no. In the bio,
Dragon Ball meme.
The over 9,000 meme.
No, in Greg's book.
Oh, yeah, with Vegeta crushing his meter.
In Greg's book, he talks about, like, he went to the cinematographer and said, I want my car to fly off the roof and into the sky. And the cinematographer's like, why? Well, maybe Johnny's a vampire. Be a good subplot. And there's this... Now we're putting vampire...
Chitty bang bang, you guys.
Oh, God. Now I'm thinking Tommy is Mary Poppins.
No, I said chitty bang bang.
Fucking ending of Grease.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Now Tommy's going to be singing Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, pussy, important to you. That's my bad impression, Tommy.
'Cause I need a man who can keep me satisfied.
You're the one I want. Ooh, 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 honey.
Oh, God, Tommy is a monkey now?
Oh,
I was thinking about, like, that scene where they're singing, like, nothing can stop us now, or something stupid shit like that.
Oh, lordy.
Oh, Sandy.
We can build this thing together, standing strong forever.
Oh my God. Speaking of lordy. Mooney! Tommy singing lordy.
What?
Oh no. God. Bro. Hallelujah.
If he's singing Hallelujah.
Or better yet, the version where
Hey,
it's
that's a finish.
Waluigi.
Oh Lord.
We're really derailing now, guys.
Tommy, meet Waluigi.
What's that?
He's your scene partner. Why? Why?
And I'm about to take a drink.
Oh yeah, Waluigi. I could play golf. I could play tennis. Oh yeah, Tommy's a superstar. I'll go
Luigi.
over.
He found him a new best friend.
Nah, Tommy does nothing but cheats in football. He throws the ball around and thinks that he's doing good. Nah. Oh, Mark? I never heard of Mark. He's a cheater, though.
Lisa? Oh, who's this Lisa? Oh, she's tearing you apart. Okay.
Not. Wait, Tommy, you want to get drafted to the NFL? No, Tommy, no. No, San Francisco 49ers don't have quarterback. I could be good quarterback. I'm way better than that guy who thinks he's the first gym leader in Pokemon Red and Blue. Like, no, I could be better quarterback than him.
My cheeks hurt.
I could be better quarterback than porn star Jimmy. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, that's his nickname. No, in San Francisco, there are two quarterbacks. One's called Jimmy Garoppolo, and his thing is that he likes to hang out with all of the adult film stars on his off time.
Oh.
Like, he'll go to dinner in San Francisco with, like, all of the adult film stars that live in the area, and he'll go on dates with them, and as far as I know, nothing happens, because the adult film stars are like, we do this for a living, this is our job, I am not bringing work to our relationship.
Okie dokie.
But the other guy's called Brock Purdy, and a lot of people have just said like, oh yeah, if he was in Pokemon, he would be a rock gym leader, just because his name is Brock. But every time Tommy gets upset because his team is like one game away from the Super Bowl and they never make it. So Tommy's like, I could be better quarterback than all those guys. Like, no, Tommy, you're in your 60s. You can't get drafted at that age.
You tearing me apart, football.
49ers, why do you do this to me? Why do you intercept ball? Why do you do this to me?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. And then there is, so 10 years ago, the book The Disaster Artist came out. Which talked about all the behind the scenes stuff. And a lot of it, like, there's not that many people that paid attention to the book so much. I mean, it was made into a movie. But then everybody was like, oh, this is really just a positive outlook on Tommy's life making The Room. But really, the book is about Greg first meeting Tommy and growing up to be an aspiring actor. Greg, by the way, actually sent in a letter to the guy who directed the Home Alone movies when he was a kid. And he saw the first Home Alone and he was so... Home Alone was actually the movie that made him want to be an actor, I believe.
It's Columbus.
Oh no, because John Hughes, I believe, was the producer, and I think he sent it to both him and Chris Columbus.
John Hughes wrote it, and then Chris Columbus directed it.
Produced, I said. Produced. Chris Columbus directed it, but I think John Hughes produced it and wrote it.
Yeah.
I think he sent it to both of them. But Greg's idea for the sequel for Home Alone 2 was that Kevin would get lost at Disney World, and then he would somehow have a cousin that lives in Orlando who just happens to be Greg. And so you could say that they got the idea for the sequel by just taking it away from Disney World and putting it in New York because they knew they couldn't get the rights to Disney. But because sometimes that's what happens in Hollywood. Like, if you don't copyright your screenplay, anybody could just steal it, and it's legal to do that. Like, if somebody say for example, I gave Sylph the idea of like the greatest movie ever. I'm not going to say what the plot is, but basically they listen to me talking about it and they feel like it's the greatest movie idea ever. Sylph can pretty much kill me and say, you know what, and then go around saying that it's their original idea for a screenplay. and they could get away with it because they copyrighted it before I ever got a chance to. And even my dead corpse couldn't sue them because Sylph can then just get a bunch of lawyers that said, no, it's my copyrighted idea because I have it on paper saying that it belongs to me.
Do like this in this hypothetical?
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine.
As it is for me, dude.
I'm just saying, Sylph, you win in the end, so...
But at what cost?
Well, you end up making the greatest movie ever, you make a ton of money, you win all the Oscars ever, like the third Lord of the Rings movie, and then you end up becoming a legend. So that's how it happens.
I was thinking about more of that meme where with Wario saying, I've won, but at what cost?
What? I have a lot of money now. I have a castle full of treasures. Do you think I care what cost it is? No, I'm Wario. I'm a capitalist. Unlike Mario, that damn socialist just giving out all his coins to all the toads.
Mamma mia.
It's like, I don't need money. I have my house. I already paid for it. And I don't need electricity. I go outside. I don't need electricity in my house. Luigi and I don't need it. All we need is somebody to help us with the water in the shower. That's it.
Aren't you guys plumbers?
No, not in the Mushroom Kingdom. No, we retired from that shit.
Uh-huh.
Although in the movie, they actually already did the advertising for Mario Brothers Plumbing for the movie.
Damn it, Mooney.
That's what?
Christian Wario.
Well, but getting back to my...
Oh, God, they even have...
Well, no, getting back to what I was saying about like the origin story, but yeah, John Hughes and Chris Columbus I believe just basically told Greg like, yeah, your idea sucks, but keep trying. You might make it one day, kid. So
Yeah.
Greg like spent most of his days like going to Europe in high school just to be a model, and Greg could have done that for the rest of his life and not have had any problems. I think he would have still made it.
Good.
I know. Well, I mean, he still models now. I mean, he does a lot of Abercrombie and Fitch ads, I believe. And like anytime he could get a chance to model, he'll do it. I mean, they were making him wearing white underwear in France, and there's like, holy shit, you have a real chance of being in the modeling business. And people at the modeling business were like, you can't model and act at the same time. It's impossible. You can't do both. You have to do either one or the other. If you become a successful actor, then you can do models. Like, you could do some modeling gigs. But the chances of you being a model and acting at the same time, forget it. And then Greg was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just do it anyway. Because that was my original dream. And it also helped that Greg was so good looking to all of these, like, these people that the phone started ringing off the hook when he started, like, putting his pictures out there in front of all these casting directors. And then he actually got people don't know this, but Greg actually starred in a movie before The Room even came out.
Yeah. It was that one of those Puppet Masters movies.
Yes, it was like a prequel to like the entire franchise. Like he was like he played the guy that created all the puppets.
He was also in Patch Adams in that funeral scene.
Oh, yes. One of the things that Greg got to do is meet Robin Williams for the first time. Because one thing about Robin Williams is he always wanted to interact with the extras if he was in scenes with them. Which is funny. My boss and I were talking about one of Robin Williams' most infamous movies, Dead Poets Society. Which, by the way, not a lot of people talk about when they talk about his movies, but... one of the memes about Robin Williams was they always did John Wayne impressions, but
Right.
I think Greg at one point even tried to mention I can't remember
Dustin Hoffman, or what the fuck his name is.
No, but I'm saying like Greg when he was on the Patch Adams thing, I can't remember if it was in the book, but I think he was making a joke about something that he did in like a John Wayne sketch, and Robin was like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" Because I think he was so in character that he wasn't understanding what Greg was saying. But yeah, he ended up standing next to Philip Seymour Hoffman in the deleted
That's
scene.
him.
And yeah, he actually didn't get put in the film because it was cut for editing purposes because they were running out of time. Which, by the way, because they were like, oh, we had to get this movie down to under 2 hours. Which, by the way, I should note, the next Martin Scorsese movie is going to be 3 hours and 20 minutes long. So if you're thinking that movies back then they had to really cut it down for time, now everybody's making 3-hour movies, and you can blame the MCU for that. Because now everybody wants to make their movies 4 hours long.
Didn't Philip Seymour Hoffman told him he wasn't allowed to talk to the stars or something?
No. Philip Seymour Hoffman didn't want to talk to Greg because he was in character. And Greg was like so excited to be on set. He's like, oh my God, I'm on set. Oh my God, this is so cool. And Philip's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Greg was fanboying. And it's like, stop fanboying. This is serious business. See, this is why I'm an Oscar-nominated actor and you're not. Because you're too busy fanboying.
Damn it, Mark.
This is my beginning of my career, dude. Shut up.
Yeah, I'm not noticed yet, but I'm going to be in a Wes Anderson movie one day, and or a Paul Thomas Anderson movie one of these days, and I'll make it big. I'm going to I'll play a real-life gay character, or not a character, but a real-life gay person, and it'll be such a monumental moment for my career that people will think that I'm actually the person itself. Capote is the movie I'm referencing, by the way. Anyway, yeah, and then Greg meets Tommy at an acting class. And by the way, like, he gets paired up with Tommy because he wants to do a scene with them. And Tommy also has this thing where he likes to disagree with every teacher he has. Like, Tommy even said, like, back when he was in school as a kid, like, he always disagreed with the teacher when talking about, oh, you can never go to Mars. It's impossible to live on Mars. And he's like, I disagree with your opinion. And the teacher's like, no, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. You can't live on Mars. There's no breathable oxygen. It's like, no, I disagree with that. Like, you can't disagree with that. It's a fact. You can't survive without oxygen. It's like that.
I wish I was that one.
It's like that one Whitest Kids You Know sketch where it's like a father and his daughter like talking about. It's like, oh, like, my boyfriend and I are gonna get married and we're gonna live under the ocean. It's like, you can't do that. It's impossible. It's like, you can't control me anymore, Daddy. I'm 19 years old. It's like, it's not about controlling you. You can't breathe underwater. You just don't like my boyfriend. No, it's not that I don't like him. You can't survive without oxygen.
Jesus.
That's like
I'm just trying to create a new
I'm
raptor here. What the hell?
But no, Tommy thinks like, oh, because of human discovery, we can actually find a way to live on Mars. Which, by the way, I like to reference. There's this movie that Matt Damon made called, not him making it, but he started it, called The Martian, where he's trapped on Mars and they're trying to get him off the goddamn planet. And he's barely...
I've seen that.
And he's barely living on that planet, and he's barely living on Mars, and they barely get him out of there. So yeah, thinking that we could find a way, and I'm sure, and I would hate to find this out, if Tommy is a muskrat and thinks that, you know, this billionaire could just come up with an idea to make a spaceship and find a way to colonize Mars. That's the only way that he thinks that that's going to happen, which, by the way, not happening. So... But Tommy would just always disagree with it when the teacher's opinion was not something that he liked. So anytime the acting professor told him he sucked, he's like, no, you suck. There's a reason he's like, there's a reason why you teach acting instead of actually doing it. Because if you weren't a teacher, you know, like if you were a good enough actress, you wouldn't be a teacher.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's what got Greg interested in wanting to do a scene with him. But then, of course, he didn't realize that Tommy can't act. So when they decided to do the scene together, it ended up becoming a complete mess. And then they just spent their entire time just going to the James Dean restaurant that was like right outside the area where he like got where he had his accident. Yeah.
Yeah, because they both have an obsession with James Dean.
Yeah, because they wanted to be that rebellious like kid. They wanted to be that rebellious guy on the motorcycle. Well, it's like it's
Yeah, they
2000.
know.
It's like it's 2000. It's like it's 2001. Like who still who still thinks that they be rebellious by wearing like leather jackets, smoke cigarettes, and do motorcycles? Nowadays, kids, if you wanted to be a rebellious, you just become like you just become a musician. You just become a music artist and just rap about how the boomers suck. That's how you did it in 2001. But we all know Tommy can't rap and Greg can't rap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it also happened that Tommy had an apartment in Los Angeles, and then when he realized that Greg was actually getting gigs, Tommy got jealous and decided to move from San Fran to L.A. But you have to understand, Tommy is completely jealous of Greg. He's like, "You're so good. You're so good looking, and you're younger than me." And I think this is the reason why Tommy wanted to like hang out a lot with younger people, because if he could capture their energy, that people would recognize him. It's like, oh, see, look, I'm hip. I can hang out with all the kids. What?
Capture the energy like a vampire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that didn't work, obviously, because he was really struggling trying to get gigs. And, like, directors always told him, like, look, you'd be good in a vampire flick, but that's it. And because his accent was so heavy, they didn't want to cast him in anything, because they're like, listen, you're not Fabio, okay? You're not attractive enough to be Fabio, and if you drank wine, it would make people think it's blood wine. And not from the Klingons, so...
For fuck's sake, he's no Bela Lugosi either.
No. Like, Tommy was just not marketable, and Tommy got upset with that. He always got upset that Greg was marketable, and...
Well, Greg looks good. What the hell can I say?
Like, he was trying to see, like... And also, Tommy is very manipulative, if you really think about it, because... Like he doesn't like the fact.
What's up, buddy?
Like he doesn't like the fact that Greg has other friends outside of him and Tommy.
What are you complaining to me about?
He didn't like the fact that he had a girlfriend. He didn't like the fact that he didn't like the fact that other people knew that Tommy existed.
He made him shave his beard to still be in the fucking room, even though he was supposed to go for another gig during that time too.
And so, like, there was a lot of things that, and even then there was a moment where, like, Tommy was, like, speeding in the car because he was mad. And then Greg got out of the car and then did that whole, oh, I'm so sorry, Greg, I'm so sorry. Get back in the car, please. I'm so sorry. And then...
Yeah.
And Craig, obviously, it was just like, he just got back in the car because it's like, well, what else am I going to do? Go back to my mom, who's just going to be like, hey, I told you so, you couldn't do it, you didn't listen to me, you could have been a doctor, but you wasted your life.
Hell, even his mom was trying to warn him about Tommy.
Oh, no, well, Greg didn't want to listen to his mom, because his mom was like the one person in the family that didn't want him to be an actor. So he was just like, he was rebelling against his mom.
Teenager rebelling against mothers. Tell his oldest time.
Well, no, he was an adult.
Yeah.
But then he just went right into another manipulative relationship with Tommy, who's just older, just took advantage of him. And then once Tommy went away and once Tommy did his own thing, like trying to be like, you know what, I just need to get away for a while, and because he was dealing with some mental health problems. Then Greg got a job at like Levy's, and then met his girlfriend at the time. He's like, wow, being around Tommy's actually been pretty good for me. And then once Tommy came back into his life was miserable, and then his relationship was miserable. And then he was like, "Oh, I wrote this entire movie while I was gone." And it's basically like, if you really think about it, The Room is just a commentary on like, Lisa is Hollywood is supposed to be a symbolism for Hollywood, and Tommy's supposed to be the symbolism of like an immigrant that comes to America and tries to live the American dream, and then Lisa, aka Hollywood, just ruins it for him. And Greg is supposed to be the representation of the hot-looking American that just takes all the opportunities away from him.
Sounds like Tommy's life.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's basically why. That's basically why he wrote it.
The story of Tommy's life. Basically, it's like an autobiography.
Except he doesn't kill himself at the end.
That's probably what he feels like doing to himself.
Well, no, he wrote the Room so that it wouldn't so that he didn't have to kill himself. Like Greg always said, like the reason why he wrote The Room is so that he wouldn't commit suicide at the end. Which he almost was going to, because he couldn't get, like, because even though he was owning jean stores that just made counterfeit jeans or just made complete knockoffs of like the top brand jean companies, like, he was doing successfully in that, and he already had like a fancy apartment. He just didn't know how to clean. So like he had like a good living, like he could afford things. It's just that he
has a bottomless pit of money. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to get at. He was rich. He had an apartment. He had 2 apartments, and it's just that he didn't like the fact that he couldn't get a girl and he couldn't be an actor. Which I'm sure after The Room came out, he's already gotten laid multiple times by women that are just obsessed with bad movies.
I would like to interview a person who actually slept with Tommy Wiseau, so I would like to ask some questions.
Oh, I'm sure the vagina monologues of Tommy Wiseau will come out eventually.
I want to know how this was.
I'm pretty sure it's gotta be hella uncomfortable.
Especially if he's fucking in the belly button area.
Check, please, circus.
I watched a little bit of The Room lately with the Riff Tracks version on it, so yeah. That's all.
The outdated version.
Oh, hush.
It is. It's been around for like nearly 10 years, and they haven't updated it since the live one, and even then, the live one needs updating. And then again, I don't know that many people that are going to even do like commentary on The Room now. It's 20 years old for a reason. Like, I think after the whole like James Franco debacle with with all the actresses coming out and saying like how abusive he was on set, I think that just really ruined the reputation of The Room for a lot of people. Because then he realized, like, wow, a lot of these Tommy Wiseau fans are really just the same type of people that you would see that you would not see hanging out around some pretty good people. Like, they look like 4chaners. And everyone was like, "Oh, you ruined Tommy's experience to go to the Oscars," and they were like, "No." He was never. There was no guarantee that they were.
Himself.
There was no guarantee that James Franco was ever going to get nominated for his role as playing Tommy Wiseau. I mean, the Golden Globes did, but the reason why like people started talking about James Franco the way they did was because he won the Golden Globe for best actor in that best comedic actor in a at the Golden Globes, and that was like, he shouldn't have won that award because of the stuff that he did. And then like people were like, you ruined Tommy. It's like, no, James ruined Tommy. Like, everybody that was involved with the Disaster Artist movie basically kept their mouths shut after that. Like, even all the actors in the original Room were like, yeah, we can't talk about this.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like, you don't hear from Tommy anymore. You don't hear from Greg as much anymore. Like, as soon as that award season came out, like, yeah, it's been almost 5 years since that award season thing happened, and yeah, nobody's even done anything except all of the actors besides Greg and Tommy. They made a little mockumentary that the actress who played Michelle directed, and it's basically all the actors after The Room happened, like what happened to their lives afterwards. So let me see if I can remember what happened. So the actress who played Lisa ended up marrying one of her stalkers, because the story was that the actress who played Lisa got so much fan mail, and she would get like a bunch of stalkers mailing her. So one actually came up to her house and she said, "Well, I'm not doing good relationship wise, and since he's giving all this attention to me, I might as well marry him." And there was even a point where I think like he actually almost accidentally killed her. And it's like, yeah, we've forgiven ourselves for that incident because our love is so strong.
I need to see this mockumentary.
It's on YouTube. It's in 6 parts. So what was it? Denny ends up working at a Denny's.
Does he look like so old now?
Yes, Denny looks like a homeless man, which they make fun of, by the way, in the mockumentary. He works at Denny's, and everybody constantly makes fun of him for all the lines in the room, which eventually he ends up like attacking one of the patrons at Denny's, and then he ends up living in the woods like a wild animal.
Damn.
The actor who plays Peter opens up a pet shop. And because he's like very infamous for falling over and for like being being hung over the roof, that every time like somebody like grabs him and tries to hang him off something, like he starts getting PTSD flashbacks.
I'm sorry, but I have to laugh.
Oh, he also got a job. He also circulated through many different jobs besides the pet shop before finally landing at the pet shops. Like, yeah, I ended up becoming a suicide hot helpline operator, and every time my voice came on, they automatically started saying Room references. And then eventually, at some point, like Peter disappears, and the actor who plays Steve just randomly takes his place. Which obviously making the reference that Steve replaced Peter in the end of the movie. Like they're like Peter's at a party one day, and then like a kid I think it was a kid or something, but somebody grabs him and it triggers the PST flashback and he attacks somebody and he ends up getting arrested. But when he's in the police car, Steve just shows up randomly and just like, "I didn't do it, it wasn't me." The actress who played Michelle, she made a career out of going to like one of those lip sync battles, and she became a lip sync battle champion. So she would just, because after the Room, she started doing auditions and everybody recognized. She's like, "Oh, I saw that movie; it was fantastic." And every time she went to an audition, they would revel in her performance and like, "Oh yeah, we loved you in that movie, but we don't want you in ours. Sorry." So she ended up becoming a lip sync warrior, and she ended up losing in a tournament, and her
boy.
and her life just got completely ruined. I think she became like a drunk.
How about Underwear Boy?
Who?
Underwear Boy, the boyfriend.
Oh, I don't think they make any reference to him at all.
Boo.
Yeah, he doesn't get mentioned. Claudette actually has a daughter, and she tries to pair him up with a guy who looks like Tommy because her plan is for her daughter to marry somebody that looks like Tommy. Because deep down, like the mockumentary, she was attracted to Tommy the entire time on set, and every time she was thinking, "I just want to grab Tommy and I just want to fuck him right here on this floor." And of course And that didn't happen on set, so now it's like, well, I'm too old to get married and have kids, but maybe my daughter can capture that Tommy energy. But when the daughter's like, I don't want a guy that looks like Tommy to be my husband, Claudia's like, okay, then I'll just take him then, and he'll be my sex slave. Which the Tommy guy gradually accepts, because that's the only chance he's ever gonna get laid. And the actor who plays Chris R, he becomes a single dad, and he becomes the complete opposite of Chris R. It's like, yeah, I don't advocate for drugs, I don't advocate for guns. I'm a motivational speaker, and I try to tell kids in the neighborhood that doing drugs and having guns is wrong. And he becomes a complete recluse, is not aggressive at all, and people are like, Chris R, actor who plays Chris R, like, you got to stand up to these guys in the neighborhood who are acting like dicks to our kids. And they're like, no, peace is the answer, my friends. And then I think like one of the people in the neighborhood was like, he had to they were trying to exchange donations or something. I completely forgot. And then said, oh, I don't have the money. And then all of a sudden, like, the actor goes into complete Chris R mode. It's like, where's my fucking money? and then everybody in the neighborhood congratulates him. Like, thank you, actor who played Chris R. You got that terrible guy out of our neighborhood. And it's like, just remember, kids, violence is not the answer. Where's my fucking money? Oh, sorry, kids. And I think that's I think that's everybody that I can think of. Yeah, that's pretty much all of them that I could think of.
I'm mad there's no, like, boyfriend.
Well, no, he had such a small role in there.
Yeah, all I can remember was the underwear.
And they probably couldn't even find him anyway.
True.
So they're probably like, yeah. I mean, the actor who plays Steve is not even an actor anymore. He works in a steel factory.
Damn. On to the next subject.
Well, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that oh yeah, and then of course, like, after the Room, like, they had the Room theater play. I don't know if anybody's like seen the YouTube videos of that.
I have.
But yeah. Like, and they didn't even get the original actors besides Greg. And that was it. And they just turned it into like a full-blown comedy. Like, it wasn't even it was like watching a WWE show, to be quite honest with you.
The one I saw had Tommy in it that night.
Well, wait, somebody else played Tommy other than him?
Tommy was in this one, I meant.
Well, yeah, because I was just like, wait a minute, what? If they start making The Room the musical...
No.
No. We don't need Tommy singing.
You stop right there, Joe. You're gonna make things worse.
Look, I didn't say that Tommy was gonna star in it. I'm just saying, like, somebody's gonna channel his energy and start singing.
No, I think somebody would get Tommy to do it. For the lols.
And what will happen is, it will be just like the Donkey Kong TV show. The actor who, like, the voice acted him was terrible, but then when he got into singing mode, it's like, oh my god, where did this guy come from? Even though technically there were two different people that voiced Donkey Kong, the regular voice and the singing voice. But it's like, every time the show would go into song mode, it's like, damn, why is Donkey Kong so cool singing like this? Like, that's
You're gonna have to show me a clip of that later.
Oh, I could show you many clips of it. Trust me, there are many episodes where Donkey Kong sings great. But no, like, that's what I'm thinking what's gonna happen with Tommy. Like, all of a sudden, like, in the room, like, something's happening that's like terrible acting, but then all of a sudden he starts singing like a pop #1 singer.
I'm surprised he hasn't tried.
Oh no, he would never do that. He would never. Because I look, I'm gonna even attempt to see if there's even news about it. Because if that's the case, then I'm going to be like, no. Uh-oh, somebody made a satire of it.
Uh.
It's a musical. It's called Oh Hi.
Well,
And
we're boned.
and there's
Is that the
actually
musical that I found?
it's got 24 tracks on SoundCloud.
Oh. Never mind.
Okay, we'll probably have to listen to this off camera.
Someone made a song based on The Room that I'll link.
Wait a minute, what?
Sleepy
No,
boy.
no. This is from 4 years ago. I don't believe this. This is it's an April Fool's joke.
Joey got scared for a minute.
It said Lin-Manuel Miranda was gonna do the Room musical, and I'm like, no way. This is from 4 years ago. They would have been done by now, but no, it was an April Fool's joke. Yeah, but then let's see. Yeah, and then they just started doing like little pet projects, like that whole like Tommy Wiseau pretending to be the Joker and Batman, the Dark Knight,
Yeah.
and Echoes. I swear, Circus, we're gonna have to get in the budget to get you a mic at one of these points.
I have a microphone. I just haven't set it up in a proper place.
And headphones.
Maybe headphones.
But to completely end on this top and to completely end on all of it, it's been 20 years. It's not that many people talking about it now. Like, I don't even think, like, everybody is celebrating the 20th anniversary over on the Room side. Like, Tommy's just, it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to be in New York, guys. That's it. But there's not that many people celebrating it, to be quite honest with you.
They don't even give a rat's ass.
No. It's kind of like saying, like, oh, hey, Rocky Horror Picture Show has been alive for 60 years. And people are like, who cares?
They don't give two shits in a biscuit.
Uh-oh.
What's so funny?
Hold on. I gotta copy what I just found. I went to see if there's any more fan fiction for The Room, and this is what I found. I can't read it though.
Self
I
is
can't read it.
losing their shit.
Foolish Immortal, Dio Brando, and
Self is
Tommy
losing their
Wiseau.
shit.
Wait a minute. Dio and Tommy
No.
Wiseau in the same breath?
Tommy Wiseau. Boom.
The world.
Oh,
The world.
this cursed city. What the fuck did you just put on this cursed land?
I didn't make this.
The world. Do. Well, to end on
Seriously,
it.
what the fuck did you put on this cursed land?
I didn't write this. No, you.
Well, to end on a different note, do you want to hear Tommy's opinions on love to end it out?
Oh God.
This was like probably one of the top things besides his kissing video, where they asked him like, "What do you think about kissing?" And they're just like, "Well, I just like to get naked on a beach and just kiss." I'm like, okay. But his idea of love, there's a story that he tells that he was on a grocery store one day, and there was a woman that he considered the most beautiful woman in the world, and he immediately fell in love with her. And so he was in line, and he just went up to her, "Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy you a flower." And then everybody in the grocery store was like, what the hell's going on? Like, he tried to paint it. It was like this big thing. It was like one of those, like, rom-com moments where, like, the main character gives a flower to, like, the girl. And it's like, oh, that's the most amazing thing in the world. But in reality, it's mostly like, who's this creepy guy just interrupting this woman's time, trying to handle her groceries? But
Waste
no,
her time.
But he compares love to like being electrocuted. Like you have to feel the love inside your body like it's electricity.
Wow, everyone's slapping Peach now.
Why are they slapping Peach? What?
I'm looking at this, and everyone's punching Peach, because I guess there's this mini game that involves hitting blocks, and there's a hammer.
Oh, you're talking about the Mario Party thing. Yeah, it's Coin Block
What did
Bash.
you think it was talking about?
I thought you were looking something up online already. I'm like, what did?
No, I was looking at the Mario thing.
Because you know how people on Twitter get when a Mario trailer comes out. So I thought there might have been a new Mario trailer that just passed.
I don't really use Twitter.
Okay, good.
Fuck Twitter.
Yeah, but Tommy compares love to being like a Pikachu. You know, you have to feel the electricity inside of your body. It has to go in and out. And then he says,
that's a terrible
He
analogy.
can feel in sparks. Way too literally.
Yes. He also believes that you can't buy love with money or power. Because everybody will instantly feel after 20 minutes that there's nothing that comes after it. Which, I don't know, if you ask any person that has married a sugar daddy, they're probably saying, like, I don't need to be in love, he's got a fucking mansion. That's all I need. Let's ask any real housewife. There's a reason why they make reality shows on them. Like, oh god, the Real Housewives of the Bay Area. And Tommy's one of the husbands. God, imagine what Tommy's wife's going to be doing on that show. Oh God, even worse. What if Tommy's the Bachelor? And there's like all these women that are trying to get roses from him.
Damn it! Stop it, Joe.
It's time to stop.
Oh God, now I'm picturing Tommy and Big Brother, and he's got to share a house with he's got to share a room with 10 other people, and they're all trying to kick, and they're all trying to see if who's gonna kick him out of the house first. Oh God, now I'm just thinking Tommy on Survivor. He's got to survive on an island with so many people. It's like, Tommy, can you go hunt for fish? I don't know how to hunt. It's like, Tommy's so worthless. We gotta vote him off this island, damn it. And he just keeps passing by every time. It's like, how did Tommy make it into the top 4? Oh, he also believes that you can fall in love with more than just one person. Like, you can fall in love with 5 people at the same time. And he's like, it's a gray area. Like, everybody's got different definitions. He also compares falling in love to playing football, which if you've not played football, you will not get that comparison. But it's like, oh, in football, people are happy playing football. It's the same as love. Like, you have to feel happy inside. You'll eat well. You will eat better. You will eat better. You will sleep better. You'll actually start talking to people more often.
Unless you have to deal with the drill sergeant coaches.
Oh yeah, if you're in the army, forget it. He also says if a friend asks you, says, hey, let's go get a beer or something, or let's go celebrate for no reason. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we never go out to celebrate. Oh, they must be in love. That's the logical conclusion. Because your friend has not said oh, hey, let's go out and do something. It's like, well, we never go out and do something. Well, the only logical conclusion is they're in love, which makes no sense. Maybe they just want to go and celebrate. Maybe it's just because they just want to enjoy themselves.
That same line of logic. It makes me think he'd believe, oh, hey, women are just vending machines that you can put tokens of kindness in for the sex.
Oh, well, he also thinks that you don't need to have sex to fall in love with somebody. But I get your point.
But at least, I mean, that's not exactly wrong. You don't... Hey, you know what they say about broken clock?
No.
A broken clock is right twice a day. 'Cause, if it
So yeah,
if it happens to be the time when it broke.
yeah, no, I get it. But the final thing about love that he says, like, if you don't fall in love, then it's not really love. You're kidding yourself. Like, forget about, like, loving like a friend or family member. It's like, no, you have to be in love in order to experience love. Otherwise, it's just you're fooling yourself at that point. And that's really it. And this is probably why he hasn't fallen in love, because nobody really comports to his style of what he thinks is love. And if you look at the comment section for a lot of these, like, people don't ever question Tommy. They just, it's like, oh, this is just pure gold right here. And I'm like, pure gold? This is the guy that they got to be, like, this is the guy that Machinima, I believe, like, started doing video game series with, where he's just, like, playing, like, random video games. Like, they obviously are just doing this for a joke. Like, I mean, I know these are probably his real opinions, but to say that this is, like, pure gold, like, no, thank you. But anyway, yeah, that's all I gotta say on Tommy. To be quite honest. All right. Well, now that we got done with the 20 years of the room, got the last 25 minutes to talk about something else. And to think nothing's really happened this week because, well, actually, no, I take that back. Actually, Kona was not feeling good the past few days. I got home yesterday, and Kona was, according to my mother, Kona was throwing up in the morning. So my mom was like, okay, when you get home, make sure, like, if she's still feeling sick, like, don't try to give her as much food. So I usually take her out when I get home, and she usually, like, does her business and everything. Kona was jumping everywhere. Like, she was like ecstatic. And I'm like, I was like, what do you want? Like, what is it? So I was like, oh, she wants her, because Kona likes to have a kebab after going out for a walk, and that's her usual snack, is like meat kebabs. So she ate one, and then I made her dinner, and I turn around to start making my dinner. She completely ate whatever was in the bowl I gave her. I gave her chicken, rice, and kibbles mixed with some chicken broth, and I put it all together and I mixed it up. She ate the whole thing in like 10 seconds.
Oh no. Did she get sick after
No.
eating too fast?
No. She was begging for more food. And she didn't get sick after that. And I'm just like, wait a minute. I thought you were throwing up all day. And Connor's just like, bork, give me more. So I thought that was interesting, because then my folks came home and they were like, oh, so she's fine? She's like, oh, she's more than fine. She wants my pizza now. She's eyeing my pizza as I was putting it on the plate, and she's like, I want the crust. Give me the crust, because she knows she can't have cheese or sauce, even though we give her some pasta every once in a while when we put in the bowl. But yeah, no, she was eyeing it, and I was like, are you literally gonna say that you want to eat you want to eat all the pizza on my plate? And she was like, yes. Like, she was literally like, she knows not to come in my room at certain points, like, especially when I close the door when I'm doing projects. But like, she was just eyeing me as I was eating it while I was in my room, and she was just begging for the crust, and so I gave her some, but she was like, I want more. So that was fun. That was yeah. Yesterday evening was fun playing with the dog. Yeah, Kona gets very ecstatic when Kona gets very ecstatic when I get home every day because she's like, "Oh, I want pets because I haven't seen you in 6 hours," and I'm like, "It's been 6 hours. Like that's a long time."
That's
Like
a
even
long time for dogs.
like even if I go out for an hour, like she's already like, "I want pets." I'm like, "But I've been gone for an hour. I told you I would be right back." And then I go somewhere again later in the day, and she's like, "More pets." I'm like, "Oh my god." And even then, when I give her pets, she's like, "I want more." And I'm like, "I petted you for 10 minutes." I'm like, "Give me more." I'm like, "Damn." She's not usually this needing for
She's
pets.
touched. She actually. She's. Wow. She's acting. She sounds like she's acting touch starved.
Oh no, because like my dad's home and my mom's are home. It's on like during the weekend, so it's like when I'm not there, it's like, oh, where's the third human in this house? You should have seen her when
Sometimes
I.
with dogs, this especially also happens with cats, but they have their human that they picked out that they love the most.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should have seen her when I got back from Philly for an entire week. I was gone for an entire week. She immediately was just like jumping all over me, and I was like, "It's 11 at night. I'm lucky
Nope,
that I
nope,
got."
nope, nope. I want pets. I want cuddles. Doesn't matter what time it is.
Yeah, well, she was a lot more. She was a lot more understanding than somebody else that I won't mention. But yeah, that was nice. And then I was making food. It's like, oh, you're having food. Perfect. We could share it. I'm like, okay, you're having the crust, but not enough because it was a long plane ride, and I don't want to go through this again. At some point, I have to take my dog to work just to see like how everybody interacts with the dog.
You're killing my legs, cat.
Oh, what is
I'm back.
is he getting needy over there?
Hey.
You know, like making biscuits.
No, he was just laying on my lap and sleeping on it.
Aw.
My cat's in the bedroom and he went to hide, so I don't know where the hell he's at.
Mine's curled up on his favorite comforter. Like this was supposed to replace my old comforter, but it's not cozy enough. But Elliot loves it, so he lays on it all the time now.
My How about a Kevin update, Joey?
Oh yes. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I had assumed that you would want one. So okay. Oh God.
I'm sure we all do.
Oh God, he made a Keenan and Kel joke. I'm skipping that.
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Oh God, he's made a Star Trek joke. I'm skipping that.
No.
Oh God, how do you ruin SpongeBob like this? So you
Why
know
would
that?
you ruin
I'm
it,
gonna
you
guess me and
bastard?
SpongeBob
How
is really a
dare?
tampon joke.
No. You know
How
that one
dare?
you know that Dirty Dan episode?
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know that part where Sandy just rips off Patrick's head?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that scene in that episode, and now imagine this: when she beat your meat too fast.
Oh.
Oh God.
Hey Elliot, can I help you?
Hey Kevin, you'll never know how a woman will beat your meat until you get off your butt and go out and get some.
So you're saying like he should go to a strip club or something, or go to or go to a
Get a
brothel, or go to
Oh,
a
gosh,
brothel in Las Vegas, where it's legal over
Okay,
there.
Elliot wants to be
Yeah.
held.
All right, next one. It's an office joke.
Hey, beautiful.
It says, "I almost didn't come today," and then the caption says, "Me every day at work."
Huh.
Hey, beautiful.
Why do you have to ruin Star Trek for me, Kevin? God damn it! I'm skipping that joke.
Chester, don't you dare.
Next Kevin one. So it shows a picture of a hot guy, and then it shows a picture of an ugly guy. The hot guy says, "The confidence I want," and then the ugly guy says, "The confidence I have."
Hey, beautiful. Can you hear him?
Nope.
Oh.
No.
He's purring.
Kevin's having Chromecast problems.
Oh, no, don't bite my chin.
And he's also watching, like, Psycho sequels.
Uh-oh. If he ends up on America's Most Wanted.
How do you ruin Toy Story, Kevin? My God.
Jesus,
fuck?
what the hell?
I feel Disney has already done a good job of that by milking it to death.
No, I'm talking about the first Toy Story.
Oh.
So you know that. Do you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Is
All
it
right,
the
so you
Hoover
know-
joke?
Nope. So you know that part
Well,
where
yes.
Woody's like, "Wait a minute, I just lit a rocket. Rockets explode," and then he starts making the faces they're rocketing through.
Yeah.
So it says not even 15 minutes into Disney Plus, and you got a friend in you,
Ah.
because it shows Buzz right behind him, like holding him.
Oh.
Check, please.
I'm curious about the Star Trek one.
No, I am not playing that. Star Trek will not be ruined.
Do not silly Star Trek. God damn it.
Neither. Like, if he starts making Thomas ones, I'm just gonna be like, fuck it, no more Kevin updates. Okay, you want to
You
know?
will not deny me of my Kevin updates.
Well, Titanic was already ruined, but he just buried it alive. So it shows a picture of Rose and Jack just looking at Rose looking at Jack's sketches, and it's basically a sketch of Jack fucking Rose in doggy style
Okay.
in sketch
What the
form.
fuck?
Oh, and he's also admiring Flanders' ass in that one Simpsons joke.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh
You telling
God,
me about
Jesus, Kevin. So somebody
Alright,
said,
give me a random character, right? Has something funny to do with it.
just any random character.
Yeah, just one.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of one that doesn't kill me. Brock.
Bro.
There you go, Sylph. All right, the next one. It's a
Did
twit.
you write it down, or?
Oh, I was supposed to write it down. I already said it out loud.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. What was it?
Brock.
Here's the other one from Kevin. He's like, asking how the job hunt's going is a lot like ask, did you come? I promise you'd hear if there was any success. That tells you everything you need to know about Kevin.
Right.
No, now you're you're not ruining JoJo now. Fuck you. I'm done.
What?
What?
He put in a no.
There's enough Kevin updates. Okay.
Kevin's is getting too horny to the point where he's about to ruin JoJo for people.
Oh no.
Oh.
Keep it in your pants, Kevin.
Go rub it out
You're
some
not.
hentai.
You're not ruining our Our shit.
Oh, Mooney, you missed this last week, but after you left, like Kevin posted an update. It was like instead of Netflix and chill, it should be hentai with senpai.
I heard that one.
And it's like okay,
I heard that.
it was like okay, Kevin, way to go, dude.
You keep that away. You keep that away from. Keep that shit away, buddy.
And every week, it's just amazing how he doesn't realize the amount of these jokes that he puts is just scaring all of these women away that he's attracted to.
Because they're all really crappy jokes. What are you talking about?
Well, exactly.
It makes me wonder where the hell he works at and how much he scares the female employees.
Let me see if he even has a job.
I would laugh so hard if he didn't.
Where is the about info? Here it is.
Chester, no!
Okay, he actually does have a job.
Well, shit.
He works for a car company.
Oh no.
Run, bitch, run.
I don't know what
Mommy,
he does there. I don't know what he does there, but he works at a car company.
Do they make the cards or is he a dealer?
No, he's a supervisor.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
So he's the one that actually puts the schedules out.
Oh no.
Oh. Not to what you just said.
Yeah, I would hope not.
I'm looking at
Chester!
art products, and I found a 36 color watercolor pan set.
A what?
A 36 color watercolor pan set.
What is that?
Hold on, I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, because just saying it is not giving me any visuals. Oh, it's in a it's in a file.
Shit! Don't click that.
Oh, too late.
I'll be right back. I gotta grab this cat.
You know
out
what?
this
I'll
way.
just share the link to the product.
Hold on. Oh, we have these at work. I know what this is. Yeah, we basically get like a cup of water, and we dip the paintbrush in the water, then we put it in the color thing, and then we start painting with it, so on and so forth.
Oh, cool. I'm trying to get some, I don't know how the hell to pronounce this, but it's the stuff that you put on canvases so that you can paint on it.
I always called it canvas.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a material that you put on top of it before you can use it.
Oh,
They're
like
what?
paper?
It's like the equivalent of primer.
I wouldn't know then.
And I'll just this stuff. Elliot, no.
Acrylic? I guess that's what it is. I don't know. Well, just to let everybody know, Pokemon Day is going to be on Monday.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
We're going to actually get some Pokemon updates. Like Scarlet and Violet's going to get updated. with like its.
Did you
new
know that if... Okay, type in PokemonSleep.com and see what
Why?
it turns up as.
This better not be a trolling thing.
It's not.
I successfully got the cat out of the room.
It just takes me right to the Pokemon site.
Yeah, it used to have a different site. It goes to the Presents page.
Yeah, which is going to be happening on Monday. They're going to probably introduce Red, Blue, and Yellow on the Switch, the same as Gold and Silver. And then more stuff that Circus can do on Go.
I haven't played Go in a long time.
I sometimes play it. It's just
Well,
last time
my phone's
I'm not
so
very
old.
good at throwing, so like getting an excellent was a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's why they stopped making Go games.
Well, the
It's a lot
thing
better than
is,
getting three nice curveballs in a row. That one sucks.
well, the game ain't compatible with my phone anymore. I have to update my phone eventually.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these digital apps now. It's like, you are not updating your phone, you're not getting anything.
I can't afford a new phone at this point in my life.
Also, in other news, the reviews for Ant-Man came out, and surprise, surprise, it was horrible.
I'm not surprised.
Which, like, the reviews got so bad that the creator, Kevin, who is ironically his name Kevin, he was like, yeah, we're probably going to slow production of a lot of our shows and movies now.
Is this the same person who's responsible for She-Hulk being so shitty and they ironically having a character called Kevin?
Yes. It was named after him.
Of fucking course it was.
Yeah, he was the one that was like, we got to keep pumping out all this MCU stuff because people are demanding it. If the visual effects sucks, who cares? Well, it's like, you're buying it anyway. Like, we're not here for...
worse than a mobile game.
And Kevin's response was, we don't care. You're buying it anyway. Why should you care about the effects? Like, what... I was like, when, because I think there was one point, like people that were defending the MCU were like, when did people start getting so obsessed with like visual effects? Like, why did we have to make that as the barometer of like how great a show is? Like, can't you just enjoy it because it's like it's like the actual, like, can't you just enjoy it because it's there? They offered it to us. This is a gift. Why are you throwing away a gift that has been offered to us from the gods?
Give me a receipt if that's how you think.
That's what a lot of the MCU fans are saying nowadays. If you go to like any of these YouTube videos that are like the MCU defenders, like that's what they say. It's like, we're getting handed a gift from the gods. Like, stop complaining.
Ew.
Sorry, not saying much. The cat's kind of pissing me off over here.
Wait, what is Chester doing over there?
He's trying to bite my arms
Why?
because he wants to play.
Oh,
He chose Violet with his
like,
teeth.
he's just like, I want attention, damn it.
Well, he's not going to get it while I'm working, and he knows it.
You gotta get, like some catnip or something.
I don't know what I need to get him. Is there any cat tranquilizers? That's what I need.
I have no idea what that is. So don't ask me.
A tranquilizer for a cat. That's what I need.
Oh no, no laser pointers.
No.
It's only gonna make it worse.
There's a reason why laser pointers were banned.
I didn't say laser. I said tranquilizer.
Well, no, but then you said pointers.
No, I said like tranquilizer.
No, I know the tranquilizer part, and then I heard you say pointers right after that. And I'm like, oh no, laser pointers.
Elliot, what the fuck are you doing?
I never said laser pointer, so you brought it up.
Well, there's no point in arguing over it.
Elliot?
Though I have
Eliana?
seen some like updated trick. I mean, laser pointers that I thought about buying. Mr. Hyper. Stop looking at my arms. You ain't gonna have them.
So I guess also a girl cat's out of the question.
What about a...
Girl cat?
I can always get a girl cat if I want to, but it's not like she's gonna get pregnant. Sorry. Chester's never gonna have a baby.
Well, no, because Chester can't reproduce.
Yeah.
Right. But you probably have to, and especially if she has like the heat cycles without the whole thing. There's a hard chance she's gonna get a uterine cancer.
Well, Chester's been fixed. That's what I meant.
Why you gotta bring up cancer?
I'm sorry. Sorry, self.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, it was just something I read online.
I know. Yeah, get your pets spayed and neutered, because if you
course,
do
yeah.
it too late, they'll have a higher chance of getting sick. That's the
Mhm.
reason my dog died. And my other one almost did. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think
I'm
with Kona,
sorry, self.
and I think with Kona, they did it like pretty early before we even got her.
Elliot, stop doing that.
Mhm.
You're tired. You need to get up here and lay down.
No, buddy, you got pretty bad dandruff, cat.
Ooh.
Cash has dandruff.
Mhm.
What's worse, the hair or the dandruff?
I think hair.
Dandruff.
All right, so we have differing opinions on this.
I like to wear a lot of black, so when he gets his fucking fur all over me, it's hard to get off. Even with a fucking lip
And Cash
roller.
is, and he's graying too.
Yeah, that's why when we
He's
got
becoming an
Kona,
old- he's-
so when we got Kona, we said like, yeah, we're getting a dog that can't shed, and thankfully she hasn't. Like one hair comes up like every 2 weeks, but that's like easily vacuumable.
I don't know, like hairless cats kind of freak me out.
Oh no, my friend had 2 of them.
They just ugly
Like
to
the-
me.
like
That's
the-
why I say this.
No, well,
Are you thinking about like the cat from like Austin Powers?
yes. Well,
Mhm.
the reason why my friend got them it's because like her siblings were allergic to cat hair, so they were like, well, we're just gonna get the ampedestrious cats, just because like she had to have 2 cats, otherwise she didn't think her life was complete.
Technically speaking, they're not entirely hairless, but covered with fine downy hair that's said to be like a peach skin.
Yeah,
It's like very small fuzz.
and I had to tell my friend that it's like, oh come on, you're not gonna get like hurt with that. It's like, no, I don't want to go through the experience of like having like a migraine after being around cats. Like, it's nothing that the cat's doing, it's just the fur around it that causes it. Like, you don't know that pain. I'm sure your siblings go this all the time. Well, sorry, you broke up there, Sylph.
They get the fuzzies in the winter months.
Yeah, that too. And I'm like, No, I don't want to feel that all the time. Like, every time I come to your house, I don't want to get migraines. And then they got rid of the ambidextrous cats, and then they got a full-haired cat. And I'm like, what happened? It's like, well, now that I'm not living with my siblings anymore, I decided to go out and get a real cat. I'm like,
Did you
okay.
just dump them in a shelter? What the fuck?
I think they live with the folks now.
Okay, you had us for a minute.
Or
It's
they
like,
just
oh, the guy want a real cat. That was a real cat, you fucking donut. Which reminds me, I gotta share this with,
That's like abandoning your child to me.
like, to that animal, you're their entire world.
Mm-hmm.
and it's like
I think I've shown you this already, but still.
it's just like, well, somebody else can take care of it now. Oh yeah, you showed me this. Yeah, because when my friend was like, I need to have a cat with fur, otherwise my life is not complete. But it's like, what about the two ambidextrous cats? It's like, it's not the same. That's like having a vagina but with no bush around it. I'm like, okay, thank you for that image.
What?
Wait till your friend says, "My life ain't complete when I have children."
Well, no, they're gay, so like unless they want to have like an in vitro baby, they can't. Or if they go to one of their friends and says, "Hey, do you mind being a donor? Like just have sex with us, but not really."
I'm
Well,
just saying that's probably next.
Well, we might as well end it there now that Peach won. So Peach won, and now everybody gets cake. Which
I
type
want
of cake? Which cake I can't tell you. All right.
Is it your special chocolate cake?
In that case, can I finish this off by reading the Peach letter?
Sure.
Dear Mario, do not come to the castle. I've baked an absolutely dogshit cake, just completely fucked it up. I'm so sorry. Princess Toadstool. Peach.
That's a great way to end it. We'll see you all next. We'll see you on Wednesday for more divorce court.